Good afternoon, everybody. This is Miss B, of course. So as you all know, I come on with some randomness all the time. And today at the moment, I am currently cleaning my home, clearing space, kind of removing last week, removing the weekend, and kind of resetting my place, my workspace, my energy space, my meditation space for clarity, for cleansing and stuff like that, right? So as I'm in the midst of doing so, I'm thinking and I'm just replaying events, recent events. Okay. So as you all know, yesterday I celebrated my son's 11th birthday, which I had a great time. You know, yesterday morning was a wonderful, wonderful time, a time of celebration and peace. And then we had the live where we did our reading segment of Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tippin, which has been going so well. I love the revelations that have come from that particular book. Afterwards, I went back into celebration mode and had, some chocolate ice cream, just to kind of celebrate, again, my son's 11th birthday. I watched a lot of funny videos and, all of those things just, to kind of keep him in mind while doing so. Okay. Now, I wanted to go into this because this is something that took place this morning. You know what I mean? Actually, I was awakened by that. I was woke, but I was just laying down, and I received a call, and by that it was something. It wasn't an unusual call, but I received the call, and the short of it is apparently I am making way for the devil to use me. Apparently, I have opened a portal to Satan and I'm being used by the enemy. Apparently, this is what the caller said. Okay. And said some other things, you're gifted by the Holy Ghost and you've always been gifted and, to heal and things like that, but you are allowing the devil to use you. And things like that. So, okay, with that being said, this came from the fact that if you all know me, then you know that in my own individual life and in my practice, I do make mention of ancestry. I make mention of card utilization and things like that, just to bring clarity. I usually post reviews and stuff. Every now and again, I'll post a review. You all don't get all of them because it's not about the reviews and all of that stuff. It's not about me. It's actually to share with you all some success stories of other people and how they have been impacted and they have been helped by the things that I do and that I offer. And then business wise, you all would never know what it is that I do unless I share it with you. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I shared a review on last week of someone that I helped about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Okay. She had contacted me in the late night hour. Hello, everybody. She contacted me in the late night hour, and she is one that I would consider my spiritual daughter, one of my spiritual daughters. And so she was in a state of emergency. And so she contacted me about one thing in particular. However, as she's talking to me, I felt an unction to grab my oracle cards, okay? Not the tarot, but oracle. There's a difference. And so I grabbed my oracle cards, which kind of gives you a little more clarity as to what is going on. And so as and I asked her, of course, I always get permission from everybody before I do any of the sort, right? And so I asked her, would it be okay, for me to kind of dive in deeper so that I can give her the counsel, because I don't know her personal life and story. People only, it's just like going to the doctor. When we all go to the doctor and the doctor asks us, what's going on and are we exercising? Are we eating right? And of course our answers are always going to be, oh yes, I do this right. I do that right. I do that. You know what I'm saying? We want to always give the right answer because we don't want to, seem as if we're just negligent in our life, right? Same thing here. So I'm a coach. I am a life and purpose coach. I'm a spiritual coach. I'm a spiritual guide. And so when it comes down to certain things, everybody's not going to be honest and upfront and tell you the truth about everything. So when I utilize resources such as oracle cards and things like that, then what it does is it gives me the clarity to really, really understand what lies beneath and what they are not telling me. Okay. So that I can really be of some assistance and some help to people in their journey, in their spiritual journey, in their life journey, in their purpose journey. Okay. So, when she was speaking to me, I felt, the need to grab the oracle cards. Of course, I asked her if it was okay. She gave me a yes. And so we proceeded with that. As I'm flipping through, it was several cards that flew out, oracle cards that flew out. And so when they flew out, I saw something and I asked her straight out. She was asking about her child, right? I asked her specifically. I said, "Are you sad? What's going on with you in particular?" She paused and then she started to open up and say what it really was. Okay. Then she apologized for withholding the full truth of the story about, what she needed help with. Okay. But knowing spirit is not going to hide anything. Okay. So with that being said, I went on further, dug in deeper. And another card that came for her was legal card. Another card that came for her was, I believe it was bound or anchored down or overwhelmed or something like that. And so the more the cards revealed, the more I was able to see a clearer picture, okay? But specifically, intuitively, I was able to take the direction of the card and then go deeper and say specifically, because the card only said legal. Now, intuitively, I can now dive deep into the legal piece. Legal how legal? I mean, I got the clarity 100% to the point where I said, listen, if you don't do this, and this in the order that I'm giving it to you, and if you don't do it right now, then legally speaking, your child will be subject to being removed from you and your care. You will be removed from your home. You will be, there were specific things that I gave her, right? Again, I don't know what's happening because the girl, she lives in Virginia, okay? And if you all know me, you know I'm in Georgia. So I don't know the details of everything and all of those things, okay? Nor did she have to go into detail about every single thing because Spirit revealed it to me so that I can give her the step-by-step action on what she needs to do, okay? Now, gave her the information. She went on and did exactly what I told her to do. 2 days later, CPS, Child Protective Services, and her landlord came to her door. 2 days later, okay? Not only that, she told me this about 2 days after. Not only that, what the landlord tried to do was to have her removed and have her child removed. But because she did what I told her to do at the moment I told her to do it, not only did she get a chance to keep her son, but when the CPS agents saw what she had done, that she had done the actions, they then turned their actions towards the landlord and required that the landlord not only not evict her, but upgrade her to a better, bigger apartment for no increase in her rent. Okay? In that sense, she was helped. I was told this morning that because I opened a portal to Satan, because I am operating under the leading of the devil, specifically, I'm saying exactly what I got today, what the call was, and the devil doesn't help people. God helps people. You need to turn your life back to God, as if I ever left. Okay? Not one time was I asked about clarification as to what I do and how I do it. Not one time was I asked to give an understanding about what I do and why these resources that I use are necessary. Not one time. I was just off the bat completely judged and criticized. Okay? and accused of worshiping the devil or operating under the leading of the devil, and accused of opening a portal to Satan. Okay, now those are big words and big accusations. Okay, during this call, I said not one word, not a single syllable. Why? Because apparently they needed to get it off their chest. Okay, you go right ahead. Oftentimes, again, I make a reference to ancestors. Okay, ancestors are very vital to our life, right? You all know this. This is not. You don't even have to be in religion to know that we are both spirit and we are human. Okay, we are spirit and human simultaneously. Before we took on our human body and came through our mothers, we were spirit only. Then we were born, took on a human body, and now we're spirit and human. Okay, but when we leave this earth, we don't leave this earth and just go back to nothingness. No. We leave our body. Our body is in the ground. Our spirit yet lives. Okay. Even in the Bible, it says, from ashes to ashes, dust to dust. To be absent from the body is not to be is to be present with the Lord. Is not to be gone completely, never to be remembered again. Ancestors exist. Okay? Ancestors exist. Part of the problem in our lives is that once people are gone, they're gone. They're never to be remembered again. If they were never to be remembered again, then why are you still dreaming about them? Okay? Why are you still having messages from them? Okay? Those are the things that we need to understand. It's the leading of ancestors that kind of help you on the spiritual plane to avoid some of these issues that we deal with on a regular basis. Okay? When it comes down to ancestry, one of my ancestors specifically worked with her hands in nature all the time. So she knew nature-wise and herb-wise and greenery-wise how to remedy things because she was very prevalent in natural medicinal remedies. Okay, as most elders were. We know great-great-grandmama, great-grandmama, grandmama, they knew how to have a remedy, how to find a remedy for any ailment there was, okay? And they knew how to do it without calling a doctor at all. And especially without using man-made medication, okay? They go and they went out into nature. Now, specifically, there was two matters that was going on with a person. One was the fact that they had pneumonia. They had mucus built up, fluid built up in their lungs. They had pneumonia very severely. And they didn't know how to get control of it, okay? Secondly, that person was also, due to stress, was losing hair at the very top of their head to the point where it was coming out drastically and things like that, okay? Now, I didn't know. Me personally, Bianca Lee had no idea about how to help other than, Mucinex or, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff. So, of course, because I'm a younger version and I'm dealing with younger solutions, which are newer solutions, which is medicine, right? But it was when that particular ancestor that actually has a connection to nature and had a connection to nature when they were here in the flesh, reached out and gave me the solution. Okay? Step by step, what ingredients to use, how much to use in it, and then when to take it, what to take, and this and that and the third. Not just for the buildup of mucus in the lungs, but also for the hair. I gave those ingredients to this person. Ever since then, they have not had any issues with mucus buildup. They have not had any issues with their hair. In fact, their hair is growing like wildfires. Okay? Now, again, I was told this morning that the devil don't help people. God helps people. Right. This is correct. Which means that if I'm giving solutions, then how is that demonic? How is that of the devil? Let me tell you something. One thing about Christianity is it is one small portion of the whole of the Creator. God as a whole is all powerful, omnipresent, everywhere and all things at the same time. Okay? The problem with some Christians, and I'm not even going to say all, the problem with some is that they are incapable of understanding the concept that it actually, there are more than one ways to skin a cat, okay? More than one ways to get to a destination. There are several resources on this earth and in the universe that can be utilized to bring guidance, not just by their way, but the whole of God, the whole of the Creator combined brings several solutions to get to a destination. Problem is, when you are religion minded and not relationship minded, then you tend to be stuck in your one realm. You tend to not allow yourself to be open to the fact that there's more out here than just only what you and your brain know. There's way more out here. If you're not privy to the faith of Buddhism, then you don't know that Buddhism is laced with wisdom that you actually could potentially find somewhere written in the King James Version of Proverbs, the book of Proverbs. Okay? Wisdom. Discipline is all throughout Buddhism. Okay? Muslim, the faith of Muslim. Okay? There's so much wisdom inside. Unfortunately, we have allowed some of the people within those dynamics and them not using it to the best of their ability, or using it to manipulate, to control, or whatever the case, much like a lot is being done in the Christian faith. There's so many people in the pulpit that utilizes the Christian faith to get what they want and do the things for personal gain and manipulation and control. And they use it and try to control by way of fear mongering and sending everybody to hell. Okay? Instead of coming to them with the understanding, wisdom and understanding of the whole all-encompassing God. Okay? Another reason why a lot of people do not go to Christians is because of the quick snap judgment and criticism. Instead of actually opening up their hearts to actually have a conversation, it goes straight into judging. Judging based on your limited understanding, not judging based on the whole of who all God is, the whole of the wholeness of God, the oneness of God. Because trust and believe, every resource comes from one source. Every resource comes from one source. Okay? So your God is my God. Your creator is my creator. Right? Another thing that really blows my mind is the fact that we are, because in that conversation, the reference to Holy Spirit was brought up several times. We are to follow the Holy Spirit, which is the spirit that was left behind after Christ died, right? Which essentially would be the spirit of Christ. How is it that we're okay to follow that spirit, but we are not to understand or believe or trust the fact that there are other spirits out here as well, i.e. ancestors? So it's okay for Christ's spirit to dwell. It's okay for Christ's spirit to guide and to lead, but it's not okay for your ancestors' spirit to dwell and to lead and to guide. Interesting. The ones who you were born to. The ones who want you to do nothing but win and grow and prosper. Yeah. The ones who loved you here and love you beyond here. It's I I hate to use the word, but it's very, 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 very hypocritical, and it's very, very much riddled with double standards. What you believe is good, what I believe is bad, especially when I'm referring to the same God, the same wisdom, the same word. Now, it is not by coincidence that we are reading a book entitled Radical Forgiveness. Because during the call, I said absolutely not one word. Not at all. Not at all. I heard them completely through. When they were done, they said, I love you. I said, I love you too. And got off the line. About 10 minutes later, I received a follow-up text with more. Once they sent their message, I read the message. When I got a chance to respond, I did. And I simply said, thank you. In learning radical forgiveness, okay, not pseudo forgiveness, as we learned this yesterday. If you did not check out yesterday's recording, please do so. Please, please, please do so. Please do so, because this all was broken down. And just like the Bible says, the enemy comes immediately to steal the word that was laid in your heart. Immediately, okay? So not to say that this person is the enemy. No. Here's the thing that I learned yesterday. What I learned yesterday in reading Radical Forgiveness, that portion of Radical Forgiveness, I learned that it's not about the person. It has nothing to do with the person. Even in the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, powers, rulers of darkness in high places, right? So it's not the person. It just so happened to be someone that you're familiar with. It just so happened to be someone that you're close to. It just so happened to be. And that's how those reactions can be stemmed, right? It's not about the person. It's about the situation, right? And now, here's radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness says, I'm not blaming you. I'm not a victim of none of that. Nope. Radical forgiveness turns the accountability to you, to you yourself, and say, why did this situation occur? Okay? Why did this conversation have to happen? And me right now processing through radical forgiveness, I had to go through that process. When that call happened, I had to ask myself, why did this call take place? Okay? Not blaming it on the person. Nope. Because certain situations and people are used to do certain situations to bring out or illuminate something in you. Okay? Otherwise it wouldn't have happened. So I had to ask myself, I had to assess that situation. And two things came to me. One, there's no greater desire for me outside of helping women and girls. Okay. There's no greater desire for me than to help my family, my friends, and bring us all into an understanding of who we truly, truly are. Not just limited, but know the whole of who we are. And to reveal and unveil the greatness that has yet to be tapped into. And I'm talking about from 50, 60, 70 years old. Still has yet to be tapped into. Why? Because of the limited understanding. The fact that you just want to stay in your box and not expand and extend yourself and enlarge yourself to something more, not to replace, but to expand out of that box that you put yourself in. There's nothing greater that I want than for the people that I know, love, and care for to come out of their box. Right? But sometimes today, I came to the realization that with this one particular person, no matter how hard I try, their understanding, it just cannot come from me. No matter how hard I want it. It's just, if they're going to come to an understanding, a more full understanding, it got to come from somebody else. Because with me, they're too familiar. They're too familiar. And with me, they feel that they know more. And that's fine. So the wisdom got to come from them. So if there's a person that cannot receive from you, then you got to just understand that maybe you're just not the person to give the message to them. Maybe they just got to hear it from somebody else. And that's one of the resolves that I that I had today. That was my lesson today. Stop trying with this particular person because they're not going to hear you. Not at all. In fact, they are focused on, they are determined to not hear or understand what it is that you got to say about these matters. So let it go. Let it go. You know, they're not your person. Just continue to do the work that you've been doing, because I've helped, gratefully enough, I've helped by way of the resources that I use, that I'm gifted in using, by the way. I've helped hundreds worldwide. You all are just not privy to a lot of that information because, number one, it's none of your business. Number two, I deal in a great deal of confidentiality. Okay. And so I protect the people that come to me. I protect them. I cover them as I should, you know. The second lesson that I gained was, certain people are just not, they just can't be privy to the things that you are privy to anymore. Because if you put your gifts before people that don't understand you or your gifts, and then are determined not to ever understand you and your gifts, then you're pretty much setting yourself up for judgment, criticism, being belittled, being, talked to, downed, and all of that. You're putting yourself in the target. It's like you're in the line of fire. You put yourself there. No one else did it for you. You did it yourself. If you understand, Maya Angelou said it. Oh my goodness, and it never gets old. When a person shows you who they are, you must believe them. You can't just, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you want to share your good with everybody, no matter how much you want them to rejoice with you, and you want them to help you celebrate certain things, you just can't. You have to protect your gifts like you protect your life. Even though you would think that you shouldn't have to protect yourself from the people that you know, love, and care for. But unfortunately, sometimes those are the very ones that you need to protect yourself from, because familiarity will not let them see beyond what was to see what is and what will be. They're too familiar. So those were the two lessons for me. One, you're not that person's person, right? And then two, you just can't put your gifts in the hands of just everybody. So you have to filter yourself, and you have to hold back some information from this particular person, and maybe several people that are connected to this particular person. So, because, if this is how they feel, then trust and believe this is how they all feel, because they are they communicate with one another quite often. And so if one feels a certain way, then the rest of them are going to feel the same way. And so unfortunately, you now have to kind of privatize yourself and block yourself, put a hedge of protection over yourself from those people that you would think that you would be the safest with, right? So those were my lessons today. I chose to operate in radical forgiveness today. I chose to operate completely out of that realm and not out of anything else. I didn't get angry. I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't hurt. In fact, the Bianca years ago would have argued, would have fussed, would have went toe to toe. Okay. That was the pattern that I had. I am so not in that same realm no more. Not at all. Because these are my gifts. These are my gifts. Your gifts are your gifts. They are not to be explained. They're yours. They belong to you. No one else has to understand them. Okay? They belong to you. Period. They belong to you. I need you to get that down in your psyche. Your gifts are yours. They don't belong to anybody else. Therefore, no one else can tell you how to operate your gifts like you. Okay? No one else can tell you what to do with your gifts. They belong to you. I don't care who the people are. Period. Parents, friends, loved ones, siblings, it don't matter. You owe nobody an explanation. Understand this. I need you to understand this clear. Your gift is your gift. They don't have to make sense to nobody else. They don't have to be approved by anybody else. They don't have to be sanctioned by anybody else. They belong to you. Operate fully in your gifts and not through the opinion of others, not through what other people have to say, because it doesn't matter what they got to say. What belongs to you is for you. This is not an open discussion. This is not a panel. This is not a census. We're not taking surveys, suggestion boxes. Ain't none of this up for debate. This is my gift. And I owe nobody an explanation for my gift. Now, here's the thing. For anybody in ear distance, eye distance, whatever distance, if what I do bothers you, listen, that sounds like a personal problem to me. That's exactly what that sounds like. If something that I do in my helping other people get free in my way, not your way, in my way, if what I do bothers you, then there's a beautiful feature on this app and every other where you can just kindly unfollow, unfriend, and we'll go our separate ways. I wish you nothing but the best. But it was crazy because that review that I posted, I promise you, I was challenged with whether I should post it. I was challenged for about 2 days with whether I should put that up. And then I had to ask myself, why are you debating about sharing great news, someone's great testimony? And the only answer that I had is because I don't want people to think, and I had to stop myself. Why do you care about what people think? Why do you care about other people's opinion about you? You are gifted. Walk in your gift, regardless of what people think, say, what kind of conversations they having behind your back. I don't care. Okay? That's unfortunately, that's one of the reasons why a lot of us cannot get to our place of true freedom and liberation, because we are so concerned about what people think about us. We're so concerned about what people's view of us is. We're so big on appearances. We're broken on the inside, but outwardly, we look perfect. We look well put together. Really. I'm no longer interested in doing that. I haven't been interested in doing that for quite some time now. I'm not going to pick it up just simply because someone feels that what I do is of the devil. I was like, wow. I just heard them out. I mean, because everybody has a right to their own opinion. They have a right to their own whatever. Now, whether you accept it or not, that's on you. But whatever anybody else's opinion of you is, that ain't got nothing to do with you. That's their opinion. It's not yours. It's theirs. Okay? So from here on out, I need y'all to understand this. When it comes down to Bianca Venice Brown Lee, also known as Ms. B, also known as Mama B, I will never hide my light under a bushel for another person, another day of my life. I am gifted. I am anointed. I am skilled in what I do. Okay? I always have been. I always will be. Every single day that I dedicate myself to getting greater and more proficient in my gift, I become better at what I can do. And I also become better at guiding others and helping others. Help does not have to come in a 5-piece suit standing behind a pulpit all the time. I need you all to come up out of that thinking. Help does not have to look like sister such and such in the front row with a modesty cloth on her lap all the time. I need y'all to understand this and get out of that religious mindset. Please. The sooner you do that, the freer you will become. There is guidance everywhere, in the sun and the moon, the stars, the birds, nature, all of it. You know why? Because it's all God. It's all God. Everything that you see is all God. Everything that you hear is all God. Every resource is all God. It's all God led. It's all God. You'll know the difference. You'll know the difference. It's all God. All right? So for those of you all in the Christian faith who don't believe in astrology, guess what? Your beautiful three wise men, they were astrologers. They were led by the stars. For those of you all who are in the Christian faith who don't really believe in the ancestry way of connecting to spirit, which was by way Westerners call it hoodoo, but back in those times, in our ancestors' times, that was just their way of life. Okay? Working with nature, working with the earth. Westerners, when they stole our people, they put a label on it and called it dark. They called it black. They called it evil, just like they called your skin evil and put a number on it, called it and tried to say the 666 is evil. 666 for the beautifully brown melanated people. I need you to understand. 666 is the element of your skin color. 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and 6 protons. That's what makes up the carbon melanin of your skin. That is not the seal of the devil. That's not the mark of the beast. Get these conditionings out of your head. Get these conditionings out of your head, please. And free yourself. This stuff was embedded in your brain. Free yourself from this mental and spiritual and emotional prison that has been perpetuated from generation to generation. Learn how to ask questions for understanding. Learn how to come outside of just your four walls and actually go abroad and find more, find the different elements and find expansion, please. For yourself, learn how to do that. Learn how to do it. There were so many different things that came about, understanding and wisdom that came about by way of knowing the degrees of the sun or the speed of the wind or all of those things. You all have to really understand this. It's bigger than what you think and bigger than what you can hold in your brain. Even in the Bible, it says the things of the spirit are foolish to the people of the world. So certain things, spiritually speaking, you ain't gonna understand. And it's okay. It's okay because you're thinking through your human mind. You're not allowing yourself to go deeper so that your spiritual self, your higher self, your divine self can understand all truth that is directly connected to the all source, which is the one God, the creator. But until you open yourself up and allow yourself to understand that, you'll be stuck where you are, unfortunately. Okay? Radical forgiveness. Radical forgiveness. Every day there's an opportunity to radically forgive. Every day there's an opportunity to learn and grow and build. Every day there's an opportunity to be better than what you were yesterday. Every single day. And understand, when those people come, and when they want to kick up some mess, or when they want to have a difficult conversation, when they want to criticize, and when they want to do, don't fuss at the person. It's not the person. Trust and believe. Situations come because there's something in you that is calling for it to come. Okay? There's a lesson in everything. Chew the meat, spit out the bone. Take the lesson. Apply the lesson. Apply the lesson. And then you are better. And when that person does the things that they do, your response in radical forgiveness is simply thank you. Thank you for having this conversation with me. Thank you for doing the thing that you just did, because had you not done that, I wouldn't have learned this lesson. I thank you. Simple. All right? Remain focused. Stop worrying about what other people say. It's not about what they say that matters. It's about what you do that matters. Okay, you're going to be criticized. You're definitely going to be judged. You're going to be slandered. All of those things are going to happen. Understand that these are guarantees that's going to happen. You're not going to please everybody, but see, that's not your job either. Your job is to stay focused, operate in your purpose, utilize your gifts, and complete this journey that you were sent here to do. That's it. That's all. I love you. I mean it. There's absolutely positively nothing, and I mean nothing that you can do about it. Don't you even try it. Have a great rest of your afternoon.